Hi, friends. Well, time for Dear Burt 21. 21. 21 weeks we've been at this. Never ceases to amaze me. Well, by now you're used to seeing those pictures, the paintings, the photos, and the paintings behind me. Last week you saw it unfinished, and I'm still working on it, but I think I mentioned last week, just in case I didn't, I took that picture in Kefalonia, Argostoli, the city, which is an island off of Greece. A friend of mine, I was visiting a friend after having done a seminar in Athens, and driving along, I saw this 1,000 or 2,000, I'm not sure how many 1,000-year-old lighthouse. I thought it was very interesting, and so I took a few photos of it. Okay, let's get right into some of the questions here. Deborah says, asking a question about doppelgangers. If doppelgangers are twins of ourselves in parallel universes, why do you have to imagine them through intention? Well, if you're going to do it, that's your intention. To me, that is simply an imaginary friend, perhaps another portion of ourselves, could be, giving some sort of direction. Also, if I can visit my doppelgangers, why haven't they ever come to consult me? I have wisdom to spare. Who says they haven't? When do the doppelgangers come to you? You know, that's when your inspiration comes and you're answering questions for yourself. You're also answering it for them. But mostly they come to you in your alpha dreams when you're dreaming. When you remember your dreams, next time you have a dream and you remember it, use the concept that it was your twin self in another universe, one of your doppelgangers, who was in fact asking you questions, but speaking to you in a language that you could understand, because dreams are mostly metaphorical. Rada says, "Hi, Burt." Also, can you clarify when we start meditation and exhale, should we do that through the nose or through the mouth, or doesn't it matter? What's the best way? Well, when you're meditating, generally your mouth is closed, at least when I meditate. Let me do it now as an example. I'm going to do a quick meditation. Close my eyes. Now my mouth is closed, and I'm breathing through my nose. I would say breathe through your nose, but if your nose is stopped up, there's nothing wrong with breathing through your mouth. As a matter of fact, one of the yoga techniques, well, I can't get into the technique, it's a Kriya technique. It involves breathing one way through the nostrils and in through the nose and out through the mouth. It doesn't really matter. I wouldn't pay that much attention to it. However you're doing it right. Your intention is to meditate, so just meditate. Deborah says, I just read that. Look what I'm doing here. Okay, Ron Dack. We've had a few from Ron. Good, I'm glad to see regulars. Question about energizing water for healing. If I don't have a regular glass of water on hand, can I use a plastic glass? Sure you can. As a matter of fact, it doesn't have to be water. I energize various things. If I'm over a friend's house and let's say they have medicine, I'll energize their medicine for them. I'll tell them what I'm doing, first of all. You can energize milk. If you have a kitten, you want to give a kitten milk. Or if you have an animal that's ill, energize their food, energize their water. There's water in everything. Everything has water in it. So just energize it in pretty much the same manner that I taught you in one of the other Dear Burts. Betty James, I've just completed reading April Moon and I'm still basking in the afterglow. Wow, thank you. Basking in the afterglow. I love that. You know, when I finished April Moon, I kind of basked in the afterglow also. That last sentence, those last few words really get you, don't they, Betty? Well, thank you for that. And Janice or Janice says, I read the whole book of Goodbye April Moon, and it was wonderful, good. Now I want to read the other books. Well, there's a few books there. I will put another one online, but I'm going to give all you people a chance to read Goodbye April Moon, so you can see that I do know my way around a typewriter and some words. Which is your favorite? One person said he'd like to see more of Zyclo. Well, Zyclo is my latest, actually. It's a historical fantasy. I rather enjoy that one. But do read the chapter or the insert that I have on Zyclo. Maybe we'll have in the next Dear Burt, perhaps we'll put all the books down and have you vote on which ones you'd like. I know that Armo's song, you really don't have that much there, but that's one of my favorites. It's a romance. I'll talk more about the books at another time. I want to get through some of these questions here. Okay. This is Robin. I'll go. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just the pertinent part. I know I've been long-winded in it, she says, but I was thinking if this can happen. I wonder if one could dimension jump to a healthy self and request the healthy self to align and integrate their vibrational match to our current self, especially as we are one anyway, just a different dimension. Yes, as a matter of fact, that's the whole idea of this jumping into another dimension to a twin self. What you want to take back with you is the vibrations of the twin self, but even more than that, the rhythm. You know, everybody has a particular rhythm. Towns have a rhythm. New Orleans has a different rhythm than Palm Springs, than Los Angeles. San Francisco has a rhythm of its own. As soon as I land in San Francisco, I know I'm there. I just feel the rhythm. New York has a rhythm, an exciting rhythm. Every town has a rhythm. I've been in many, many towns, and they all have their own particular rhythm. Well, people do too. When you're in good health, you have a particular rhythm. It's the rhythm of health, and that's what you want to merge, and that's what you want to bring back with you, that rhythm. I may get back to that. Let me get to a few more questions. Connie says, I have a question. I've been studying your material for 3 or 4 years, and et cetera, et cetera. I consider myself happy, et cetera. Why, if I am more enlightened, which apparently she is, more spiritual, things around my life seems to be crumbling? Well, you know, very often, I must speak in generalities, but very often before we can build something, we have to tear something down. So if your life is crumbling, just look at it as an ending to something. And remember the cycle of rhythm. All things are born, grow, peak, deteriorate, and die, or end. All things. When something ends, something begins every single time. There is no death, because when something dies, something is immediately born. If your life is crumbling, you're definitely on the deterioration end of it. It's going to end and then start anew. And then your life will begin again. And you'll start the rhythm again. And you'll start to grow. These principles, the 7 principles that I talk about, they're so very important. You'll get more of that in Goodbye April Moon, because we discussed the 7 principles in that book. Okay, Marion says, my question is this. Once an event has occurred in our lives, is it possible to reshape or erase that event through an intention exercise? That's the last question we have time for. Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, I strongly advise that you go to a meditation state, go through the event, even if it's a recent event, and redo it. You're like the producer, the director, the writer of a motion picture. And that motion picture of your mind, that mental movie, can be adjusted. Rewrite it and then run it through again. Now, you might say, well, it didn't happen that way. You're changing a reality. It will have an effect. Trust me on that. It will have an effect. We may be getting into, well, I'm sorry, I have to stop, because they're going to cut me off at 10 minutes, or we're almost at 10 minutes. This is Burt Goldman. Have a good day, a wonderful week, good month, and the rest of the year. Thank you. See you next week.